Looking at this picture right here. Now this is a character that I made, believe it or not, from the same raw character that you started with, and you're able to do quite a bit in way of clothing and all that. Now I want to introduce you to this feature right here. Now notice that when you go to the body, you can smoothen your character so that you have that kind of finish, which makes playback that much more or a whole lot more sticky and jerky and not in real time. And then when you go back to 0, which is really not smoothened at all, the character is more free. The feedback is immediate, the playback is real time and all that. So one of the things that you would want to do is work with the smooth at 0, and you can do that on the full body here, and then you can also do that on the face. If I was to zoom into the face, you can do that on the face right here. You can either smoothen it completely or unsmoothen it. Now it doesn't look like it's doing anything, but it is if you look closely. So that is full smooth, and this is not smoothened at all. Now in future, maybe with the character we've not included the heart because the heart was not part of the original character, so that you need to do manually. But all in all, you can see how far you can go with the raw character that I gave you. Now if you want to pick anything, remember there is a left mouse button. If you want to go all IK, remember we mentioned that, or all FK. All FK would basically mean that you have your controls. Now I don't know why my controls here, or this character is the way it is. But basically when we're dealing with all FK, sorry, it means that you're dealing with this right here. Okay, so you'll be dealing with the joints as if the joints are just parented, linked directly. So this bone is linked to this bone is linked to this, and this bone is linked to this. So basically what that gives you is unlike FK, if you're dealing with IK, unlike IK, if you're dealing with FK, you need to come in and work at each joint to work the character, which is, if you ask me, sometimes a lot of work. And this is why IK was introduced. So anytime you want to work with FK, so that would be FK. I can work on FK without really looking at those curves. You can work with FK right here, so you can select it from here. Just wanted you to see what is being selected by these green buttons, and then let's just go back there a bit here. If I say all IK, then now the FK thingies disappear, and now you're dealing with this here, which is the end effector. So be grabbing the end effector, and remember these right here are not, these are not the FK handles. Okay, notice that when we were in FK here, you have this, which is for the volume, and sometimes for lady fingers, sometimes you want to create a kind of a roundness to the whole hand. So if, for example, this hand, if I was to select this and rotate it to appear that way, if I wanted to create some kind of an illusion of a curve, ladies' fingers or lady hands tend to do that. So you can see this arc now. You're using these to kind of fake the bending of the bones or moving the flesh more towards one side, so that everything looks a bit more rounded. So if I wanted to create an illusion of this, you can see how rounded that is. Alright, so you can do all that without really getting into the curves and all that. Once again, we're saying you can select them from here, which sometimes is much cleaner. Actually, most of the time is much cleaner. I can still come back here and switch back to FK, and remember, with FK you need to manage the elbows, those elbows at the back there. So we know now that with this you can come in here and switch between key. So you can key anything here. I can key the whole body, I can key just the head and the neck, I can key all eye keys, especially when I'm doing a walk. If I decide to switch over and work with FK, I can be coming in here, and every time I want to key, instead of selecting all those things and keying or pressing a key right there, what I could do is just come in here and key whatever it is that I want to key. The same thing goes for the face. You can come in here and key whatever it is that you want to key. When you're doing phonetics, you can be keying the mouth only. When you're doing maybe the facial expressions, you can key the whole face. Or when you have some phonetics and you don't want to mess those, so you want to maybe build a facial expression on top of the lip sync that you already have, it's not good to mess with the mouth because the mouth is saying something. So usually you mess with the eyes area here, and that would mean that you just key the upper face area. Okay, so the upper face area would start from the nose right here, and just key that area. The eyebrows are especially important in facial expressions. So you could also key the selected. So if I have something that is selected, I could come here and pick the selected and key it. So if I say, for example, I'm selected in this guy here and I just want to key these alone, then I just come and say key selected. Don't have it here, but I have it on the face. So let's just come in here. So if I have just one corner of the face, the mouth there, and I just want to key that alone, nothing else, because sometimes you don't want to key the entire face on a particular keyframe. So you just come in here and say key selected. I think we missed a spot here. We should have included key selected, but it's something that we'll work on. Alright, so far we have let me wipe that stupid green on his face here, so we could come in here. Now on top of key, if you click on that, it goes to reset. I can reset the entire face. Here I can reset the mouth area alone, or I can reset anything, right? So that is just for reset. Remember, this is for selection. So if I wanted to select just the all the facial controls, I can select them from here. And sometimes you want to select those so that you can see the keyframes on the timeline. If you wanted to just select the upper eye area just to see the keyframes, you can come in here and select the mouth to just see the difference between the keyframes that are based on phonetics and keyframes that are based on the rest of the face. You also have the facial geo, which is the face geometry. So if, for example, you wanted to smoothen and unsmoothen and this is not working for some reason, you could always come in here and do that manually. You can select the ear, that would be the left ear, you can smoothen it like that. You can come in here and select the left ear, smoothen it. You can come in here and select the eyebrows and smoothen those also. So you can select quite a bit using that, and you can also select these from here. You can select the full body, you can select the left hand, you can select the right hand, and so on and so forth. So anything that you would want to select, you select that from right there. Now the other thing that you'll also find very useful in this picker is that you can go to the hands, and in the hands you're able to store hand gestures. So right here, when this guy right there, when I select that, when I'm in this other picker or that other page, I'm able to pick the same from here. So I'm able to do that rather nicely. I'm able to come and also manage my elbows from here. Now you can see I have a bit of a problem because the elbow should always be behind, and your hand should be rather to the front. I need to move it maybe like that. Now the whole point of having these separately is because of how much work hand gestures do to human communication and acting, human performance. So you can come in here and reset the fingers. Remember that you can select the fingers right from here. So if I wanted to reset this hand, I could select these and just say reset, or just come and say reset from here. Now I could select these. If I hold down shift, I could select all these fingers and just reset those. Now I can come in here, select this finger. What I've done is selected just this finger right here, and with that selected, I can come in here and start curling it by use of the virtual sliders middle mouse drag in the viewport. I can do the same for maybe just about any finger. As long as I select the channel, I can virtual slider drag in the viewport. Okay, so I could also hold down shift and select two fingers at a go and do the same. It does work. Okay, now I could come in here and spread the finger, because the ones that I've selected, I'm selected on those two. I could spread them. If I select all the form, holding down shift as I select those, and then come here and spread, I could select all of them. I could spread all of them. I can come in here and twist them. Okay, I could lean them, especially lady hands very commonly do that. If I feel this is a little too far from the rest, I could come in here and put it closer. Could also put these a little more closer like that. I could lean in this one, it's right there, a little more to twist, that is, let's see, and so on and so forth. So you can see what's happening right there. I could come in here and work the thumb the same way. Okay, once I have a few gestures that I like, I can come in here. I have this retrieve and save. So if I wanted to save this gesture, I could come in here and pick save, and then come in here and pick the gesture bank vault that I want to put that in. So if I say that that should be gesture 1, I could come in here. Let's just say that I pick all of these. I'm holding down shift and I say reset, so all of them reset. I come in and decide, alright, I want to curl this finger, I want to maybe twist it a bit, I want to come in here, take these and reset it also, and then curl it here. And I want to come in and just try and make those two touch, so we not orbit but twist this here, and then select these and move it closer there so that she looks like she's touching something. So I could come in here and yank these out a bit, followed by these there. Okay, now I could come in here, and sometimes lady fingers tend to arc right there, so the bend here is what that is for. So I could come in here with this here selected. I could come in here and you can see that here would be for this joint, this here would be for this joint right there, and then this would be for this joint right there. So you could have that. I could come in here and kind of do the same here. You can see that going. Now if I wanted to increase the length at any one given time, I could increase the length, but that probably is not a good idea. So let's say that let's just work on this just slightly, that finger, and not that, this one right here, and just arc it a bit, and followed by this. So let's say that you want to store these as a gesture. So I'm gonna come in here and say save and put it on 2. So this would be the first gesture that we had, and this would be the second gesture. So you can store those gestures right there and retrieve them anytime at will. You could again, when you're storing, again remember that the banks here would store anything as long as it has been picked here. So you could pick just the right hand. By default it's set to be H, both hands. So if you just want to store on a particular slot here just one hand here, you could do so. Now you could come in here and pick whether you want the entire hand or just the fingers. Okay, now the entire hand would also include this right here. Let me just come in here and select all the fingers. So I could come in here, select all fingers. I could select all the fingers on a particular hand. This happens to be the left hand, so I could select those fingers on that left hand and reset them. Okay, now so the selection here still works. I could select both hands. I could select just the fingers for both hands. I could select just the fingers on any hand here, and then I come in here and finger reset. Now if you use this reset here, this reset here will do the normal usual reset of positionality, but it will not reset this. Notice that this is not XYZ, alright, in terms of positionality, rotation and all that. This would be very specific to the hand, and it has very different parameters in terms of curl, thumbnail, and relax, twist and all that. And because of that, this is set, or this is optimized to reset these and not this. So this would be more optimized to reset things that have the translation, the rotation, and that kind of thing. So anytime you're moving or working with fingers, remember the reset would be that right there. So very important here. Remember, you could pick what you want to store right here. So if I pick a number of fingers, maybe 3 fingers, and I use pick, then that is what will be stored in that particular gesture. I could store both hands and so on and so forth. I'm keenly aware that we don't have enough here, but 7 will do for the time being. I want to truncate this video here. Catch up with me on the next one.